Hello students, welcome to Chemistry Online classes. We are now in the lecture number 9 of the surface chemistry. In last class we continued with the properties of the colloidal solution. We have completed electrophoresis, electroosmosis, coagulation, and then we will learn one rule called as Hardy-Squell's rule. Very important part. The statement is coagulating power of an electrolyte is directly proportional to valency of an active ion. If our colloid is negatively charged, example is AS2S3 solid and liquid sol, which is negatively charged, the active ion is positive and the order is coagulating power of Al plus 3 is greater than Ba plus 2 greater than Na plus. If we have ferric hydroxide sol, which is positively charged, the active ion is negative and hexacyanoferrate ion FeCl6 and charge is valence is -4 has greater coagulating power than PO4 minus 3 greater than SO4 minus 2 greater than Cl negative. Then also we learn about coagulating value. Coagulating power and coagulating value are inversely proportional. Coagulating value is nothing but minimum concentration in millimoles per cubic decimeter required of electrolyte required to cause the coagulation of a colloid in 2 hours. Then we learn about the protective action of the lyophilic colloid. If we add lyophilic colloid to lyophobic colloid, the stability of lyophobic colloid will be increased. And the mathematical parameter to understand this is a gold number, which is the number of milligrams of protective colloid added to prevent the coagulation of 10 milliliter of standard gold sol when 1 milliliter of 10% NaCl solution is added to it. And the protective power is inversely proportional to gold number. That part we have completed in last class. Now today we will go ahead and we have to learn about the emulsions. Emulsions. We know that emulsion is a colloidal system. It is a type of colloidal system in which dispersed phase is liquid and dispersion medium is also liquid. That is called as emulsion. Liquid particles dispersed in another liquid particles. One of the liquid is frequently water here and it is formed by two immiscible liquids, means those which do not dissolve into one another, or two partially miscible liquids. Now when there is two liquids mix up and when emulsion is formed, there are two types. We will make one column here, table here, so that we can understand this. First is the type, and then what is the dispersive phase into it, what is the dispersion medium into it, how it is represented, and then what are the examples of it. Examples are of course very important part. And in every emulsion, as emulsion is unstable means there is possibility that dispersed phase and dispersion medium separates and suspension is formed. We have to add the emulsifier, which is also called as the substance which stabilizes emulsion. What is the role of this? Stabilizes emulsion. And how it stabilizes emulsion? By decreasing interfacial tension between dP and dm. The interfacial inside the surface, dP and dm, the tension is reduced, and it makes sure that dispersed phase get dispersed in the dispersion medium. So there are two types. First is called as oil in water, another is called as water in oil. These are the two types of the emulsion. Here dispersed phase is oil, dispersion medium is water. It is represented by O oblique or O/W. It means oil particles dispersed in water. The example is milk, in which liquid fats dispersed in water. And another example is vanishing cream type of ointment. When we rub on skin, it disappears. This type of creams, it also comes in the form of emulsion. Emulsifier which stabilizes this emulsion, they are proteins, gums, and natural soaps and synthetic soaps. So this is all points regarding the oil in water. Dispersed phase is oil, dispersion medium is water, oil particle dispersed in water, representation is O/W. Milk, vanishing cream are example. Emulsifiers are proteins, gums, natural soaps and synthetic soaps. Now in the another example, water in oil. Dispersed phase is water. Water particles are dispersed. The medium is oil, represented by W/O. Example is butter, cream, and the cod liver oil. And the emulsifier which stabilizes this emulsion, they are heavy metal salts of fatty acids, and another is long chain alcohols, and third is lamp black. So these are the emulsifiers used. So very important table. Question can be asked for 1 mark. What is emulsion? Give the example of emulsion in which oil is dispersed in water. You can give any one example. Or water in oil. What is the emulsifying agent used in water in oil? This 4. What is the emulsifying agent used in water in oil and oil in water? They can ask anything, but question can be asked on it. Now regarding this emulsion, some 3 properties we should know. First is that emulsion is diluted. Emulsion is diluted by addition of any amount of dispersion medium. It means in oil and water you can go on adding water. In water and oil you can go on adding on oil. It will not destabilize. But addition of dispersed phase separates dP and dm, means it becomes unstable. Then emulsion is negatively charged. All the emulsions, they carry negative charge. Third is they exhibit properties like Tyndall effect, optical property, or Brownian movement. And last one, dP and dm separated by heating, freezing, and centrifugation method. We can separate the dP and dm. So these are the properties of the emulsion colloidal system, in which dispersed phase is liquid and dispersing medium is also liquid. So one mark question can be asked on the emulsion. Now after the emulsion, what we have to learn is the colloid surrounds us. We know that colloids are everywhere because what is colloid? We said colloid is a state of substance, not substance. And what type of conditions are required for a colloidal system? Particle size 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, heterogeneous system, dispersed phase particles, dispersed in a dispersion medium. So there are many colloidal systems around us. I write here colloids around us. We are surrounded by the colloids. The food articles which we eat, they are of colloidal nature. The clothes we wear, they are also of colloidal nature, because nylon, we have given example in macromolecular colloid. The house in which we live is also made up of colloidal substance, because cement is of colloidal nature. The newspaper which we read is also involve colloid into it, because ink is a colloid from which this paper is made up of. The furniture which we use is also of colloidal nature. So colloids are everywhere. They are given some 6 examples here. The first example is blue color of sky is because of colloid. I will just write them once and then I will explain one by one. Then the next example is the fog, mist and rain. These are also example of such example where colloids are involved. Third is the blood, then soil, then food articles, and last one is the formation of delta. So one colloidal part we are consuming, one present in our body, another present in our ecosystem. This we see in upper atmosphere, and this is the geographically formation. So everywhere colloids are distributed. The first example, in the blue color of sky, we can say that the air which contains the dust particles and the water vapors present into it, it scatters because it is colloidal nature. So dust particles present in air along with water scatters blue light, and that's why the sky appears blue in color. Now why is blue in color? Because blue color has minimum wavelength and intensity of scattering is inversely proportional to wavelength raised to 4. Smaller wavelength, more scattering. Blue has smaller wavelength, so it scatters more. The color scattered is of greater magnitude. That's why the color of sky appears blue. The another example is formation of fog and mist and rain. If we consider this air, again it has dust particles and it has water particles. If we allow this to cool below dew temperature, formation of dew, water droplets, there is possibility that these dust particles, which has colloidal nature, and there is accumulation of the water droplet over it from all sides. This is water droplet, and this colloidal nature, and they are suspended in air, and once they are suspended in air with these water particles accumulated on their surface, dust particles, there is formation of either fog or mist. What is difference? Fog is more dense and mist is less dense. This is first difference. Another difference is fog has very poor visibility. If fog is there, we cannot see beyond too much distance, and in mist we can say that it has poor visibility but less than the, means it is not much bad as the fog. That is the difference between the fog and mist. What these are? These are dust particles of colloidal nature suspended in air, which accumulates the water droplet. That may either more dense in the form of fog, or it may be less dense in the form of mist. Now regarding the rain, these clouds, they are also of colloidal nature, and there is possibility that these two clouds, one is positively charged and another is negatively charged. They mix up, and there is mutual coagulation, and that's why they grow bigger and bigger in size and finally settles down in the form of these water droplets falling down, and we call it as rain. So rain is caused because of clouds. We can say it is caused actually because of mutual coagulation of the clouds. The same phenomenon can be used in the artificial rain. Artificial rain, because in many areas there is scarcity of rain. Rain is important, particularly in the country like India, because our agriculture depends on rainwater. So this artificial rain can be caused by on these clouds which has either positively charged or negatively charged. The spray of or oppositely charged soul, or we can add electrified sand on it, of course from the aeroplane, because clouds are at a higher altitude. So we are discharging their charge by coagulating them, by neutralizing their charge, by spraying the oppositely charged soul or electrified, because electron is present on it. If it is positively charged, electron will neutralize it. If it is negatively charged, oppositely charged soul is thrown on it. The spray is spray falls on these clouds, and there is possibility that these clouds coagulates, and there is possibility of rainfall. Artificially this can be done, because rainfall will occur if the charge on the cloud is removed. One is naturally it occurs by mutual coagulation with clouds colloids, or artificially it can occur by spraying the oppositely charged clouds, oppositely charged on the clouds. This is the second example. You have to remember all these words, although it is very difficult to remember all these things, but I have already told you practice is needed for this. Then next one is in the blood. We can say blood is colloidal solution of albuminoid protein present in the blood. So when blood flows, we can apply the alum and ferric chloride on it. Coagulation happens. The charge on blood particle is removed and blood clots. It just becomes solidified and prevents bleeding. So prevention of bleeding, because if blood flows out to greater extent, is very dangerous for the person. So we can stop that flow by applying the alum, means that we call it as Fitkari. This type of solid crystal is there. Whenever there is cut by blade or something, we just put that and it gets coagulated. So this, because this coagulation occurs, blood clotting is occurs because blood is colloidal. Otherwise, this would have been very difficult to stop the flow of blood. Then fourth one, the soil is present with humus, which are formed by decay of plants and animals. The soil is of colloidal nature, and because of its colloidal nature, it absorbs moisture and other nutrients from the soil. So this is very important, that soil should absorb moisture and nutrients, because then only the agriculture production will be increased. And soil is able to do that because it is of colloidal nature. What is the role of humus here? It acts as protective colloid, and it stabilizes the soil which is of colloidal nature. Regarding the food particles, already we know the examples: milk, butter, then we can say halwa. Halwa means a type of shira, where the flour is taken and it is just agitated again and again. We have to put it down and out, down and out. That's why we call it as halwa. And people which makes this, we call them halwai. That word halwai comes from this halwa, because we have to just again and again we have to shake that flour. And sweet, in sweet dish, like in Upit also we do that. It is not halwa because it is not sweet. So that which is sweet and made by agitation is called as halwa, isn't it? We say gajar ka halwa, right? So that also the kind of colloidal solution. Then ice cream and the fruit juice. Yes, these are the items which we consume, and they all are colloidal nature. One or other type of colloids. Some are emulsions, some are so like that, but they are of colloidal nature. In formation of delta, very important geographical feature, delta. This type of triangular shape. Sundarban Delta, it's very famous, largest delta in the world, which is present in Ganga river and that in West Bengal is present. So river water, which is the colloidal solution of clay, when meets seawater, which contains electrolyte like sodium chloride. Clay is negatively charged particle. Electrolyte can provide positive and negative charge both, but this positive charge will neutralize this negative charge, and we can say the delta is formed by coagulation of clay particles by electrolyte. Electrolytes are brought by sea water and clay particles are brought by river water. And whenever that river meets sea, there is deposition of these clay particles. That is called as the delta. So everywhere colloids are there. The blue color of sky, fog, mist, rain, blood, soil, food articles, and formation of delta. So colloids are very important for us. So thing is that you should read every sentence from the textbook. I have tried to cover every word from the textbook, but if you have any doubt, you can of course clarify that, because students sometimes will not pay attention to such theoretical part. But if a question comes on that part, if we are in position to solve it correctly, it is extremely beneficial for us. That's why we have to prepare it very alert, being alert. Then last part is the applications of colloids. Applications of colloids. There are some 6-7 applications. First I will write those applications and then I will explain one by one. One is the electrical precipitation of smoke. Next is purification of water. Third is medicine. Fourth is tanning. Fifth is cleansing action of soaps and detergents by formation of associated chlorides, misses which already we have completed in associated chloride. Sixth is in rubber. Seventh is photographic plates and films. Eighth is industrial products. Even though in the notes we have just mentioned 4, all these 8s are there in textbook. So 4 we have mentioned because question can be asked in theory exam of 2 marks. But we have to learn all, at least we should read and remember it. In the first one, electrical precipitator of smoke, one diagram we have to understand. This is one electrode. Electric field is being applied here. This is one outlet. This is one inlet. From this inlet, smoke produced in industries is passed, and it contains carbon, dust particle, and arsenic compound, which causes the air pollution. But all these compounds, they are colloids. So it is passed into this chamber, which is fitted in chimney. Chimney means that part from which smoke in large industries coming out, exhaust of that exhaust pipe is called a chimney. It is passed into this smoke into chamber. This is electrode. We can say oppositely charged electrode. Of course, one more charge electrode is there on the back side. We are not interested in that because that is the important. Oppositely charged is what? Which charge we are talking about? That charge which is opposite to the charge of this colloidal particle. And look at the potential. Very high potential. 30,000 volt potential is applied. The smoke particles come inside and they just precipitate. So it is precipitated ash. All this settle down. So what will happen from outlet? What will come? It is gases free from smoke, which will not produce the air pollution. To minimize the air pollution, this arrangement is done. This is the electrode, oppositely charged electrode with very high voltage. Smoke is allowed to enter in chamber. It is precipitated, coagulated by discharging at oppositely charged electrode, and gases coming out are free from the smoke. This is called as Cottrell precipitator. Cottrell is the name of scientist. Is the name of player of bowler of Kings 11 who makes salute when and the batsman gets out, isn't it? A unique way of celebration. If you watch IPL, you remember this quadrille precipitator is called this arrangement. So it can be asked separately for 2 marks. So I have to prepare this 2-3 sentences you can write and this label diagram you can draw. Maximum 2 marks. The next is purification of water. I have to make this space here, so I will run on this. The diagram is drawn in notes and textbook. You can refer that. You can write more sentences, that doesn't matter because the description is not much complicated. The water obtained from natural sources they have this suspended impurities. Suspended impurity. And this suspended impurity is nothing but chloride. It is treated with alum, that's small white type of crystal, and there is coagulation of suspended impurities. This settles down because of formation of precipitate, and now water is fit for drinking. So one of the easiest way of water purification, this is the water sample where these suspended impurities are there. We have to just take this white crystal and just remove this. Then what will happen? These particles, this settles down. You can take this part which is free from this suspended impurities, that's why it is fit for drinking. So this is the second explanation, purification of water. You just write this 2 sentences, it is more than enough. Then the third one is the medicine. We should say that in third application, many medicines which we consume, they are of colloids, and when they are colloids, they are easy to assimilate because their surface area is greater, and that's why the drug action is very efficient. There are 4 examples. One is colloidal silver, colloidal antimony, SB. This is silver, this is antimony. Colloidal gold, and milk of magnesium. These are all colloidal medicines. The silver is used for eye lotion. Antimony is used for kala. Gold is used for intramuscular injection. And milk of magnesia, that suspension, type of suspension, it settles down. That's why we have to shake and take when extreme acidity is there. It is used in stomach disorders. So these are the 4 colloidal medicines and the area where they can be applied. Question can be asked in match of the following once it has been asked. Which colloidal solution is used for which type of alignment? So this you should properly arrange them. And next is the tannin. Tannin means if you take the animal hide means skin of dead animal. It is very soft. and it is negatively charged chloride. We can add chemical substance called as tannin, or we can add alternatively chromium salts, which are positively charged chloride. So the mutual coagulation occurs, and there is a hard hide. So we can say that a leather is formed, which we can convert them in articles. In the natural form it is very soft. We may not able to make articles of that leather, but it is made very hard by the process called as tanning. And the substance used is tannin or chromium salt, which is positively charged chloride, neutralizes the negatively charged animal hide, and the tanning process is completed. Cleansing action of soaps and detergents already we have learned in detail in associated chloride. In rubber, we can say that in rubber, latex. You might have heard this word latex. The latex is colloidal solution of rubber, and when that is coagulated, rubber is formed. So that also involves formation of rubber, involves the process of coagulation. The photographic plates or films, we can take the glass plate, or we can take the celluloid film. Celluloid film means it's cellulose nitrate, and it is coated with emulsion of photosensitive material like silver bromide in glycerin. It is coated on it, and that becomes the photographic plate. If you take celluloid film, it becomes the photographic film. So in the formation of those photographic plates and films, the colloids are used. In industrial products, paints, ink, then graphite, which is used as lubricant, then synthetic plastics, rubber and cement. These are all very important industrial products. Very important industrial products these are all, and they are of colloidal nature. So electrical precipitation of smoke, purification of water, medicine, tanning process, cleansing action of soaps and detergents, rubber, photographic plates and films, industrial products. These are the applications of the colloids. I hope that you understand this concept emulsion, colloid surrounds us, and the applications of colloids. So we have completed colloid space. 75% topic is completed. We are in 9th hour. Now it means only 3 hours part is left. Very simple part, catalysis. It is easy, it is not this much difficult part. Only colloids are difficult. Adsorption was also very easy. You may feel boring, but it is easy. That is the important. In colloids, yes, you have to do a hard work because marks are less, but preparation is more. But you will manage that. So make your own notes while I am teaching. That will be more beneficial. Read the textbook, and thank you for watching this video.